Well, hello everybody. My name is Making Sang, first name May King, and today I'm going to be speaking with the incredible Laura Pearman. Now let's bring her up to the screen. How are you, Laura?
Hello, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh no, thank you so much for accepting. So we're going to be talking about FOMO and how to generate buzz and excitement from a brand perspective, because with my 5-step process to generate a buzz and excitement for your business, the first letter of each step spells the word brand, and brand means everything, doesn't it, Laura?
Love that. Yes, it absolutely does. It really does. It's so true. I love that you've done that. That's so clever. 5 steps, but it spells brand. So there's no reason that anyone should forget it.
Now, I first met you at Social Media Marketing Team World in San Diego. And I had to admit, the first time I met you, I actually got FOMO. Because very quickly after I did a bit of lurking, a bit of stalking on your socials, I noticed that you had so many people who hired you as a brand photographer to take photographs and showcase what it is they do. So some of the speakers and some of the attendees of the conference. And I want to talk about brand photography and why it's important for a business. And of course, after getting the FOMO, I hired you. So
Well,
let's talk about
actually,
that.
it's funny you should say that. I think we should touch on how I try to create FOMO as a part of my service because I'm so glad that it's worked. I know that it's worked on you, and that's obviously high praise, you being the FOMO expert. But yeah, we can let's get into brand photography. This is something that a lot of people misunderstand, and actually what's sad is a lot of photographers who call themselves brand photographers misunderstand what brand photography actually is. So in order to be able to shoot really effective, powerful brand photography, you should kind of have a really well thought out brand. Now, if you try and shoot photographs without a well thought out brand or without somebody to be able to interpret your brand, you're kind of putting the cart before the horse. So if you might have bought some brand photos and you find that you're really disappointed, maybe you've had bad feedback from them, or you still feel like they're some way off from what it is you're trying to do as a business owner, as a personal brand, it's probably because of that. So having the brand in solidified in the first place informs every single aspect of the brand photo shoot. So if you're shooting on location, we're going to scout locations that are really intrinsic to your brand and really tell the story that we want to when we place you in situ. And we actually have this is an example of you at work at the Upreneur Summit a few years ago. And this is what it's like. So this is what it's like when Making is flying around at a conference with smoke coming off the screen when you're tweeting, and everyone people see you, but people don't see you the whole time. And this is like a secret. You're in a little bird's eye view area that you can only get to if you know the staff in that building. But this is exactly what I was trying to create. You're creating all the tweets that are flying out in the sky over the people at that conference. But then the after effect of that is that people who are on Twitter feel like they're getting a slice of that conference and regretting that they're not there. So
Now,
when it comes down to that location side of things, it's really important on picking out the right part of it. So that's a little bit on location.
amazing. Now, I also want to talk about, you've taken some great photographs of me on location, actually doing my magic. Then I wanted to hire you again to create some more photographs of some of the other work that I've been doing, like interviewing people, tweeting, as we mentioned. Then the pandemic hit.
Don't get me started. That was a sledgehammer, I can tell you.
But what you did was, when we walked through the process of the importance of creating some brand photographs to use as part of my marketing, my head was a little bit stuck behind that, but you really helped me to get, to help me to understand just how important it is. So I'm just going to bring up an image that you had in your mind, and I want to talk about just why this is really important. So let's bring up this next image.
So this is what I think of when I think of you at work, and when I think of you, if I'm sitting here in my office, you're laughing. Usually you're laughing your head off, and everyone knows you have a signature laugh. But you're frenetic. It's constantly going. The rate that you can create FOMO, whether it be through rapid tweeting or posting on social, is truly an astonishing skill. So there's a sense of frenetic busyness about you. And when you think about it's a really good thing to think about when you're doing brand photography for someone is, do they have any tools, or is there any equipment that they need that helps explain what they need in a visual sense? So we went with the tripod and the microphone on the tripod, and there's an element of like rock starness about your brand. You are breaking out and you're trend setting a micro niche that hasn't happened yet because of the time that we live in. I'm sure in 20 years' time, you're going to have an academy of like the official FOMO Creator Academy, and people will come to you and you'll be this wise old sage who teaches them how to do FOMO. But up until this point, no one else was saying that they were a FOMO creator. So to me, that's rock star. So all of those different threads were in my mind. So when I was dreaming up what I visualize in my brain, these are the kinds of shots that were coming into my mind. But you're right. When I approached you and I said, look, we've got restrictions around lockdown. Do you want to come to a green screen shootout day? You were like, well, no, Laura, I don't. And I was like, well, why not? You were like, because I'm in the moment, I'm on the job, I'm with people. And I was like, yes, that is absolutely true. And that documents you at work. But another part of brand photography is that I describe it as a pyramid. So there's the pinnacle of the brand, and it's you in a wonderfully beautiful shot. So whether that's a crisp shot that's been created with controlled light in that way, like those images we've just seen of you being cut out, or whether that's you on location in more of an unpredictable circumstance, that's the top of the pyramid. You out on a regular basis, or you when you're sharing selfies, that's what goes in the bottom of the pyramid. And together that forms your overall visual identity as a brand. So when it comes to brand photos, it's about pulling out the best, most potent essence of you as a brand. So I knew straight away that the way that you're putting yourself out, like the website, header images, like bio images, or maybe even with things like other marketing materials, adverts, or if somebody was having an event and they wanted to glamorize the fact that you were going to be there as like a roving reporter, having these cut out really versatile shots is a really good thing for your brand. And you were like, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to come to a studio. And I was like, well, what the hell's the problem? Like, it's not like we're out on location. Like, what? And you were like, I'm just really nervous.
I couldn't see
I pushed you, didn't I? I pushed you past that. I was like, you'll be fine.
you pushed me because I couldn't see the vision. You're the expert, you're the brand photographer and strategist, and you could see the vision. I couldn't see the vision because all I could see was, reportage photographs in action. So of course, like you say, I'm just going to bring up this image again because actually I don't like photographs of myself normally, but I do actually like this one because what you've captured is the ability to tell in one photograph what I do. I'm a
Yes.
professional live tweeter. I do interviews. So there's other photographs of me doing an interview like the previous one. And like you say, it really captured my energy. So, Laura, I just want to thank you so much for, pushing me out of my comfort zone and just cracking that whip and saying, get into that studio and, and showing me the vision beyond. And it really helped me to, like I said, I've been using these images. I will be using these images on my website. I've been using them already in proposals, which is fantastic. And And of course, this all goes back to the importance of branding. Now, I'm really excited because you're going to be appearing on Twitter Spaces and talking a little bit more about this at 5 p.m. But if people wanted to find out more about you, where can people find you?
So I would say you can come and check me out on social. So my handle is just in my name down here. And if you want to get a little bit of a feeling of what it's like a try before you buy, I really recommend you check out my brochure. And I can see that you've put a link there on the screen to that. Downloading the brochure is completely free. And when you flick through that, you'll get a really good understanding of what I stand for, as well as exactly how I serve up what I do. So I like to say, if you look through that brochure and you hate it, I'm probably not the right person for you. But if you look through that brochure and you're like, yeah, I love this. Wow, this feels amazing. Then yes, we should absolutely talk.
Any final words before we end this broadcast, Laura?
Yes, I wanna say something, and we haven't actually planned for this. So there's a lot of people don't quite get the magic of green screen photography. So do you want to just put one of your images up that has been cut out? So I want to kind of really spell this out. And I think what's interesting about this is thinking about your niche that we've talked about. So you kind of breaking out and being exceptionally innovative in what it is you're serving up. So you can see this image now on your screen, and it looks like there's a flat white background. But actually, if we were to have this in a dynamic way, we could pick making up and drag her anywhere on the screen, and all of the background of the screen would show up behind her. So every strand of hair that you see in the cool wind up hair, all of that's being cut out. And the beauty of this is, yes, you can absolutely layer this up. So if you were putting together a social media design, you could put a little call to action, and it's kind of you're a little bit in front of it. But where this is going, there we go. Look, where this is going. So this is the new trend that's coming out in my world is animated layers with stills. So let's just imagine that you're standing there between us, and around your body, hang on, this side, around your body is like fire, or around your body is like little tweet birds tweeting. Like that's where we're going with this type of photography. So this is why if you identify as an innovative brand, or being on the cusp of the latest trends is something that's important to you, this is why you should be shooting on a green screen. You could be adding layers of animation. The other trend is adding multiple layers of illustration behind you. And then when someone scrolls on it on the page, part of that illustration animates and kind of sets itself still. So that's where we're going with this.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Laura. I hope the images did justice as I popped them up on the screen just then.
Well, I think they're amazing, but of course I'm going to say that, aren't I?
So if you'd like to find out more about brand photography, how it's going to work for you, your brand, your business, then you do definitely need to go and check out laurapearman.com/brochure. And for those of you who'd like to, we will see you at Twitter Spaces at 5 p.m. See you then.
Mwah.